and welcome to Liberty Bell News Channel.
We are your anchors, Margaret and Sneha, for 1918, filling in for our male counterparts over in Europe.
Now we'll go to JP, who has information about our local weather and the weather overseas where our armed troops are fighting.
Hey, I'm Sean Paul, here with your daily weather report. Over here in Texas, we have some cloudy skies. May rain a little bit, but it'll clear up by the afternoon. Going over to the war zone, right over here. Up here in France, in Argonne Forest, where General Pershing is currently fighting, there's going to be a little rain. So let's hope that those soldiers don't get trench foot. And over here in Berlin, it seems there's been an armistice, and the sun shine's finally clearing out the clouds. So if we're lucky, we'll have our soldiers back by noon.
Not long after the Battle of Argonne Forest, the Germans signed an armistice at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. President Wilson has gone to Paris to help negotiate peace treaties. We'll see how the talks turn out next year.
The Sedition Act of 1918 has been passed, following the Espionage Act in 1917. These are meant to support the war effort, but they're also very frightening prosecutions. Some say they may even infringe our First Amendment rights. Here's correspondent Shane with an interview of a Sedition Act convict.
Debs, one of our socialist leaders. How are you, Mr. Debs? How have the latest development in American politics affected you?
Well, I have to say prison is not treating me well. After being convicted under the Espionage Act for my socialist views, I have been convicted unfairly by the capitalist and nationalist government. Others have the courage to speak for reform and have similarly been persecuted, such as my friend William Hayward of the International Workers of the World. I am good even after being defeated, though.
Very well spoken. What is your next political campaign technique?
I intend fully to continue with my campaigns even from this prison cell. I fight for true socialist nation and continue to gain popular votes. Even though if I do not win, I will make a dent in this flawed capitalist political and economic system.
Good luck with that. Who is your favorite past president?
I would have to say Taft. Wilson and Roosevelt are too involved in spreading their capitalist disease through foreign policies to solve the underlying labor and social problems that plague the working class upon which the high and mighty politicians depend on. Socialist Republican leader is what this country needs the most.
I guess we agree to disagree. How do you feel about the war?
The war is something that the government has created. It is not something of the people. The people do not want to go to war. This is the demands of the government to send people to go and die for their country. Socialism is not of a country. It is an idea of the people.
Why do you think you continue to lose your elections?
While I have several popular votes, the Electoral College does not like me.
Yikes. Thank you, Mr. Debs. Now we'll be going back to the studio.
Earlier in May, our troops participated in their first battle at Chateau Thierry, working with the French to beat back German forces. We also countered a German attack at the Second Battle of Marne in July. In September, we attacked the Germans at Saint-Mihiel, and we also began the Meuse-Argonne offensive, undertaken by General John J. Pershing. This move, which aimed to cut German railroad lines, became part of our largest battle, the Battle of Argonne Forest, which is located in Verdun. Though we beat back the German forces and won the battle in November, we did so at a steep cost, around 120,000 men dead.
Reporter Shane Murray on the battlefield. Now I'm going to speak with the American general.
Oh good, we have a runner. We need to send our battle plans at 5:10 for the attack on the German trenches. Here's your weapon, synchronize your watches, and tell the other troops to do the same. Good luck, go.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be going to the first trench now.
What news have you got, soldier?
510!
Got it.
So what problems have you been facing inside the trench?
Well, there's trench foot, and that's a nasty little bugger that takes out most of our troops. swells up the feet and can't walk. Nasty.
5-10 charge.
I surrender! Shane, reporter and war hero. Take that, weatherman!
Let's understand some of the more brilliant points of our leader, President Wilson. On January 8th, 1918, in an exciting and earth-shattering speech to Congress, the President released his 14 points address to encourage Russians and Americans to fight for unity. In a nutshell, here are some of the highlights. 1. We should abolish all secret treaties to appease liberals in countries that are suspicious of the government. So this helps with Russia. And then freedom of the seas appeals to American and German merchants and sailors who don't trust the crafty British. The next thing he said was to remove all American barriers to help countries such as Germany that relied on solid trade relationships. The fourth thing was to reduce armament taxes to appease the taxpayers who are not happy with financing such an expensive war. Another highlight is for those anti-imperialists. Wilson's proposal to adjust colonial claims in both the interest of the natives and the colonizing country will bring great comfort.
Well then, that wraps up our report for the year. Please tune in next time and don't forget to support the women's suffrage movement.
We've already made significant gains in Michigan, Oklahoma, and South Dakota, so if you continue to support us politically and economically, soon we can have suffrage as well. So, signing off from Liberty Bell News, the best source of wartime efforts, this is Sneha and Margaret. Have a good day.